Hi guys, and welcome back. We're gonna be moving forward with this, and yeah, we'll see how close to being finished we are after doing this last session. Um, there might be a chance that we need to do an extra one um, just to finish out some of the details. And to do some of the mod stuff, and but we'll see. We'll try to get through as much as we can. So there's a couple more things before getting into the exporting that I'd like to demonstrate. So one of them is what's known as decals. So we have our nice structure that we created last time. And one thing that we can do is we can add these decals. And so what the decals are, let me just increase the scale. So the decals are basically kind of, you can think of them almost like stickers. So they have some, let's see, there. So they have some features that like kind of places them to objects, so you can kind of see how that looked. There is also a parallax setting, which kind of pops them out, so to speak. So it gives the like a little bit more of an illusion of like how the object should look at a distance. So this one might not be the best example of it, but okay, we'll go ahead with that one. And then I wanted to put, let's say the scale of this is 8. I'm going to put one along here. So let's actually, I'll place it and then I'll manipulate its properties so that it stretches in the right direction. Let's see. Scale is what I'm looking for. So let's say that one dimension is 0.5. Hold up, let's see, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I guess it's this whole thing. Oh, this here. Am I still grabbing it? Let's just, there we go. Now it's just selected. So scale, this one's 8. Let's put that one to 4. And then maybe slightly bigger than 4. 6. And then let's stretch it in the other direction. Not that direction. Let's make this one. Okay. Yeah. And then I'll add a little bit of parallax to that one too. It doesn't seem like it needs that much. Yeah, so that's some nice little details. One other detail. This is definitely like, fine-grained stuff. It's not necessary for your map by any stretch of the imagination, but you have these nice like features that can kind of go along. So hold up, let's just Control Z. So they kind of stick to the surfaces, so you can kind of place it and see, you can sort of make some more interesting you make some more interesting like features on it and give these a little bit more character. So let's do some wall damage. These are very nice, and say put it there, and let's do one of these longer ones there. Okay, so yeah, so now this building is starting to look a little beaten up. Just adds a little bit to like the realism of the map. So, and then let's make a bigger one here. let's take that and increase the size of it. And I guess I can even make these look a little distinct by like kind of manipulating their properties and their angles. So even though they're like the same object, you can still make some details that weren't there before. And then let's just do a couple similar ones over here. We'll make them a little distinct. So let's put some more decals. And actually, let me just go ahead and publish the link to the stream. Just so one quick second. Just go to general. And trying to finish. And then I'll post this in the self promo channel as well. Yeah. Okay, and then yeah, so let's just do the same thing. We'll do some rotations here of this one. Let's make it like here. Let's put it up here. Let's make the object like maybe twice as big. Put it down a little bit, and maybe like that's the wrong dimension. And then let's say 22. And then put it like there. Let's increase the parallax. Okay, and then let's just add a couple more. I'm not going to spend too much time. This is more to demonstrate some of the techniques that you can do. So let's put some here, and then I looked at these mummy decals yesterday, and they look nice, but they don't really play that well with the features. I mean, we can have a look at it. So it's kind of cute, but actually, you know what? Let's leave it as like a little Easter egg for anybody who wants to, like, if anybody is really detailed oriented. And then, yep. And that looks good to me. And then let's say we do a couple little, so I guess these are like kind of the pots, but okay, let's just finish out the damage. Probably maybe not put one on there. Oh yeah, and this one, I was actually going to use this one over here. So I'm going to put this one here, and then I'm going to do, so let's see if this does anything, but let's just decrease the width of it to 6, no, sorry, wrong side, so let's make that one 12, 15 maybe, let's do 22. Okay, and then the width of it 7. Sorry, this one is the width. Okay. And now it actually kind of looks like a little bit of a doorway. So I think that's pretty cool. It gives it a little bit of an illusion of depth. And yeah, and then let's just finish this up. Let's just add a couple here and there. Some cracks. Let's make you a lot smaller. 5. And then let's put you on that one. Let's actually make this a little bit smaller again. And then let's use the same one, maybe like on the side over here. And even let's put one in the front too. And then for a second crack, let's grab cracks are here. Let's just add another one. Make it a little bigger. It's a lot bigger. And then a little bit more of the erosion. These ones, I guess I could also play with these ones. They're a little bit brighter in color. Probably more to match like sand on the ground. Let's put that one there, and then finish it off. We'll do a little bit more wall damage. Say 3 is there, so 1 second, let me just, I guess this one is good for lining up edges. And then, ooh, I'm stuck in the wall. And then anywhere else? Let's just put a big one on top. Okay. Yeah, that's more than enough. I just wanted to demonstrate the technique. I'm not the most, I guess there are these ones over here. So let's just throw some big ones. And then let's take that and stretch it. Twelve, 22. Rotate it. You can even rotate it in space, it seems, which is an interesting property. And now let's just copy that. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about these ones. I think this is probably overkill. So yeah, we'll just say that those are fine. So the decals are there, and then let me just double check. People are tuning in. Okay, and then right, so what I wanted to show now is that a very important step for this is that you want to have no-go zones over all of your buildings. If you don't have the no-go zones, units will just walk straight through them, which is obviously not ideal. So no-go. And now let's put, it's in logical no-go regions. So just let me place them here, and then I'm just gonna outline the whole object. Okay, there's one. We'll do the same thing over here. Okay, it's 2. We'll make little no-go regions around these pillars. This is what they were here for, just to block the path. Around the statues. And then I'm going to leave these to be walkable, because I want this space, this terrain to be traversable. And then these ones are the last ones. Okay. And then finally, boop. Okay, so those should be all of the no-go zones that we want to define. And let's see. So we got no-go zones. What we want to define now are just the vanguard points. So there's two things we want to do here. Let's say, let's define the under deployment zones. So let's go to deployment zones for a second. We're going to create a new layer that's vanguards. And in vanguards, we make the, I think it's here. Okay. Deployment category, I think it's ambush. Let's just double check the guide real quick. So in the guide, so we want to define the guerrilla exclusive exclusive zones. So logical, hold up, let's see. The deployment zone will use the zone type guerrilla exclusive additive. So deployment zone, deployment category. I don't think it's here. So tools, logical, employment zone. Let's check for a second. Create another deployment zone region, and the region will use the zone type guerrilla exclusive. Okay. Right, so there's a little bit of a trickiness to how this is done. I'm remembering now. So I think that you need to click on you click on it here. So you see how that second region is, here, let me just double check. So you actually click on it, you can't click on it there because it's blocked out. So you actually have to click on the region itself. And now you add the zone region and you see it's already set to exclusive additive. Okay, and the tricky part about the way that these work are that, let's just make sure that's the same kind. Yeah, so the tricky part about the way this works is they're defined by, oh, 1 second. You're actually defined by where you, you can't place these where your opponents are. So I'll show you why in a second that these are too big. They appear too big at least. So the first one will go there, and I'm just doing a little bit of overlap. And then the second one will go, just make sure it's even on that side. Okay, that looks about right. Okay, so the reason that it's done like this is that, 1 second, let me turn this down. Settings, streamer mode on. Okay, the reason that it looks like this is because where you can deploy anywhere your opponent's zone is not. So the places that they overlap, neither team can vanguard deploy in those zones. But you can deploy, and basically, so the one team, the red team, will be able to deploy here in this region, the blue team will deploy here in this region. It's a little counterintuitive, and I think that you can do some more specific stuff with subtractive, but I haven't messed around with that too much. But yeah, but so for now, this is like kind of the default way. This is like the easiest. You can draw polygons and whatnot, but this is just like really straightforward way to draw the lines. So now let's just delete this. We're not using this in the end. So you can see Gorilla exclusive here in the side. Those are where the things are, the Vanguard zones are. Okay, so now what is left? We need to add the deployment zones. So let's call them summon points. Summon points. And now we actually do this in AI hint. It's a little unintuitive. So 0 is at the top. I'll try to remember that. And they use the name of like attacker and defender. But then they also have like one of them is mapped to 0 and one of them is, so the red is the defender, the blue is the attacker. Okay, the red is I think I said the red is defender. Okay, and so red is defender, so we're starting here on the defender teleport reinforcement lines. We have, you'll have to change it in this thing, defender reinforcement, attacker reinforcement line. And we also have specific to the Vanguard points, and I'll show that's actually done here in this Vanguard unit. So let's turn that off for now. And yeah, let's look back for a second at the diagram. So we just want 3 in the middle, 2 Vanguard points on the sides. So pretty straightforward setup. Let's put those down now. Go, let's say 1 in the middle, 1 here. You have to make these like a certain amount of a certain size. You just left click. They're kind of hard to see. Let me just turn off we'll keep these on for now. They're kind of hard to see. They're these like triangles. I think the triangle points in the direction that the unit summon, but I haven't fleshed out that assumption. You do have to make these a certain size, a certain width. So I left click and then I right click to finish it. And then let's say one a little bit more over here. Okay. And now let's create the Vanguard points. So we want them to be kind of like stuck behind here. And then let's actually change this to Vanguard units only. And go back to the AI hint, defender, Vanguard units only. And then this one can be, let's say, let's just make sure there's enough room here. Okay, so I'm gonna label those last 2 Vanguard, defend Vanguard. So just double check that that's the one that I'm talking about. And then this last one, also defender Vanguard. Okay. And then that'll be useful if we have to make any adjustments to those later. Let's just make sure that this one is big enough. So in the guide, Waka says they have to be a certain size. teleport reinforcement line. Okay, so maybe I've done this slightly wrong. I put down defender lines as opposed to but it has to be 20 units long. So let's just go to AI hints, defender reinforcement lines. So you need defender teleport reinforcement lines. They're very similar names, but they're different. 1 second. So delete. And then def delete. Def delete. Def delete. Okay, and now let's just do the correct ones real quick. So defender reinforcement lines, make this one a little bit longer. Okay, we'll put the other Vanguard one over here. Okay, and now so let's just say def Vanguard, and then turn this off. So this is where like naming things is really nice because I can just trace over them. Where is that one? It's here. Very hard to see. Okay, and I can just go and delete all of these. And now these should be correct. And so let's go to the other side. What I want to do here now is to make them as similar as possible to these ones. So attacker teleports, one of them, the first one was in the middle here and about halfway. So like that. Now I'm dragging from the other direction so the arrows are pointing. They're pointing in this direction. It's very hard to see. And then in the middle, so about the same height. Okay, and then one that's a little bit on the side. Okay, and then similarly, let's just put you here. And then the other Vanguard one was here, just flat along kind of the middle. Okay. And just to rename these ones in case I have to change them later. And then I think this one is the other one. Okay. So we have ways of summoning in, we have ways of deploying, we have Vanguard on both, we have no-go zones. Just double check the guide to make sure there's nothing else that I've forgotten. Oh, I just realized that this was streaming the wrong thing. Okay, so I'll just show that again real quick. I put down using the AI hints, attacker teleport, and defender teleports. I clicked and unclicked the Vanguard units only button, and then I placed them here. So these objects have little triangles right here in the middle, and they have to be a certain size. So I put one here, I put one there, I put one there, and I put two forward ones there and there. And then I mirrored them on this side using the other, and then I just organized them using some names so I could remember or move them all when I wanted to later, if I wanted to later. Yep, and so Now let's just, I'll put this on the, let's make sure to save it, and then I'll put this on the make sure I don't do that again. Okay, we've done teleport points, we've done capture points, we've done initial deployment, and we've done map setup. And so now we want to just set up the tile map. So to do this, basically, like, what is the tile map? So the tile is where we're playing. It's what we've been building, this 8x8 grid that you can see here. The tile map is going to be, I guess, another 4 of these or more, up and down in every direction. So basically, we place this small map in a much bigger area that has more like randomness associated with it to make it look like it doesn't just end when you get too close to the edge of the map. So to do this, we go to tools, and so it makes a point here like where things get saved. Assembly kit is the folder that'll be saved inside of your like Warhammer 3 Steam directory, and then it mentions that there's raw data and working data, where raw data is kind of the stuff that Terry uses, and then the working data is the stuff that the mod managers use to actually create the final map. So basically, raw data turns into working data. And how exactly it does that? It goes when we basically when we do create battle for tile. Okay, let's go here. Tools, create battle for tile. Okay, so this step should only happen once. This is the step in which we basically first create that working data file, or make the tile map file, sorry, in the raw data. And now go back to here for a second. So so this is empty right now, so we can actually go to that file, open, and now in tiles, sorry, back in terrain, now we have battles, and we have this new folder in battles, which always has this name test at the beginning. So it's created a Terry file. We'll just load it right now to show that there's like practically nothing going on here. It doesn't look right. It's because we haven't done those extra steps yet, and it doesn't really know like how to generate the file that we're trying to make. So how do we do this? So going back to the guide, in the DOM mapmaking folder, we have Warhammer 2 Vistas. And in Warhammer 2 Vistas, we have different terrains for each. Basically, these are like the outfields, and we can go into. So Southlands was the one that I'm making. It'll give you a little preview of what it looks like. So this one is pretty mountainous. Let's go see if there's one without too many mountains. STL2. This one is a little bit more rugged. The colors are a little bit different. And then STL, did I look at that one already? Yeah, okay, so I like this one. STL3 is the one that I'm going to use. And what we're gonna need from here is this tile map. This lets the program know kind of like what the order of the tiles, the big tiles, should go in this larger tile map. And I think, do we need anything else from this? Let me double check. And the climate map .png file, which I think probably lets it know sort of how to generate the climate. Yeah, so these are the two that we're gonna bring in. I'm just gonna bring it into my folder now, and I'll just do that real quick so that I don't make too many mistakes, and I'll show how it looks. So go to the, I gotta remember where I put everything. I think, yeah, I put them in my assembly kit folder. Gonna open another. Assembly kit. Just 1 second. Okay, so drag it from the Warhammer 2. I said STL3 was the one that I wanted. I'm putting it in my raw data terrain battles file, or folder, sorry, in the test file that I generated. I'm copying the tile map. Tile map is getting replacing the file in destination. We're replacing the climate map. We're adding the climate map. And then there's one last step. I'll show it now. Let me just go here. And the last step is to make this explicit tiles file, and to make it 28 by 28. This number depends on what your tile map is and like where these coordinates are. But I think in this case it should be 28 by 28. And we could check in GIMP, which I've downloaded for this purpose. It's a free program, but I think that it should work like this. So let's go back to Terry. Actually, let's just double check in the guide that we're doing everything correctly. So, okay. So we now look like this. We've modified the explicit tiles. We've ignored this and hope that it works. And now the last step is that we want to open up this this tile map that I opened up earlier. I just change it to the debug camera or the orthographic camera. Sometimes if it looks really dark like this, you're probably too zoomed out. So actually, let's just stay in the debug camera for now, and then file process with Bob. And so this behind the scenes does all of the like tile generation, and then it shows you at the bottom how the status is going. Okay, it says that it's green, so let's try opening up again. Now we are in the correct folder again to Warhammer 3 assembly kit raw data terrain battles, and then the name of the map. Okay. might take a little while. This is like a much bigger file. Okay, so let's see, did it work correctly? Maybe something is still gone wrong. So I'm gonna guess that probably what went wrong here is that we're missing one of these tile colors. So we could probably validate this by looking at the tile map and saying, yeah, we've just like not generated some of these tiles. So let's just do a quick debug for a second. But you can see that we did successfully generate, we successfully generated a backfield, even if it's not exactly the fully fleshed out backfield, and we don't know where the tile is. So let us just take a second and I'm just going to open up GIMP. And then I'm going to open the tile map that I just put in. I have to find it first. Steam. Dmaps, common. Warhammer 3. And then assembly kit. Raw data. Terrain, battles, swamp, and then let us open up the tile map. So I'll just stream this real quick. All right, and we'll just double check that whether or not I was right. So it looks like this one is a different tile map, so that could be part of what I guessed that it would be wrong. So it looks like we're at 3636. So let's just go in and change this real quick. Oops, not that. And change this to 3636, save, and now process with Bob once more. This might not fix all of the problems, but it's a good place to start. Sometimes these things are a little finicky and you have to do a few steps of debugging to figure out what actually went wrong. Okay, so it says that it's done. Let's try reloading. Okay, so from initial inspection, it might have worked. So the thing is, one thing you have to realize when you're looking at these maps is that by default, it'll turn off a number of settings to make this less computationally intense. So you can turn on your objects. It's a little odd that the the height map isn't there, but okay, so let's just go to settings. Tools, view, settings. So let's go to settings here. Just put this over here for right now. Oops. No idea what those settings are that I just changed. Whatever it was not good. No season, faction, let's say Tomb Kings. I'm not sure if that actually makes a difference. So it's these ones here. So show tile objects. So this takes a long time to do, which is why it's, okay, maybe not in this map. Why it's usually not, vegetation usually takes a long time too. So let's see. So in the past, this has turned on the things. I'm not exactly sure why it's not doing it right now. This might be a hint that something is right. But let's turn that off. So double check all of these. Okay, well, let's hope that it's generated correctly for now, and then come back and look at it. Come back and look at it in a little bit. Make sure that it's worked properly after we've exported it and done the last steps in the mod manager. So going back to the guide, just double check that we did everything here. So we created the battle for the tile. We placed it in the we changed this. We put in the vistas. We have processed with Bob. And then, okay. So if we ever make changes, this is an important point. If you ever make changes to your tile, you don't have to redo everything. You can just process the tile again. So that's nice. So in general, let's just go on to the work with the pack file manager, and then once it's in the mod, we'll be able to tell what the we'll be able to tell if everything looks right when it's actually loaded into the game. So that'll take a second to do. Okay, and yeah, so to make to turn it into a mod, we need to download this Rusted Pack File Manager, or PFM. This thing is a program that helps just piece the files together in a way that the game recognizes. So I just went to the website, downloaded it, unzipped it, and then found the user interface file in that package. I didn't move it anywhere. I didn't do any fancy installation or anything. So that's how I opened that program. So let's pull that up. This is where we'll start to deviate a little bit from the guide. So the guide basically has you create an entire pack file. But to make our lives a little bit easier, Chromosumo has made, along with Waka, has made a like one that we can start with and use as a template for ours, and it saves us a lot of pain. So let's go to RFPM. So RFPM. So this domination template.pack is also in the Google Drive. Just one quick comment about updating things. Let's see if I can find where. So check updates. You're encouraged to update all 4 of these things. I also had to update in this. I had to right click here and update table. So I also had to do that to get it to the newest patch, compatible with the newest patch. However, there is an error down here about dependency caches. If you properly, quote unquote, properly generate the dependency cache, you will likely break your mod, and it won't work. It won't load into the game. So, encouraged to update here in the check updates. Encouraged to update the tables as it probably will suggest you to do. Right click on the table and update table. However, do not generate this dependency cache. That will probably cost you a lot of time. Yeah, so what do we have here? We have a couple things, so a couple folders. This UI folder is sort of what will appear in the game next to your map. This would be like the screenshot associated with your map. This is the name of your map. This controls the name of your map. And then this controls some of the other settings, like is it for multiplayer, is it for single player, where is your map, where is the screenshot associated with your map, a couple other important details. Let's see. And then you control a little bit of the environments here. So what we are going to do, we are going to right click. Let me just we are going to right click on the domination template pack. We are going to add a folder. This isn't the only way to do it. There are other ways to do this, but this is kind of like a good way to start working with it. So we can go to our basically we want to take and just double check that this is what he says, that we should take it from the working data folder as opposed to the raw data terrain folder. So we go into here, a working data folder, terrain, and now we can actually just copy select this entire folder. So I have a couple other maps that I've made that won't be included in this one. The assembly kit example you can always delete. Yes, delete. This is my first map that I'll package together later after this video is made. This is a map that I'm currently making. So Lustrian Narrows. All of this can be deleted. Just make sure they're the right names. The example ones can be deleted. You can see, so there's a lot of extra like deleting that's going on that you wouldn't necessarily have to do, but you will have to delete the wonder why this is not located in domination. Did I not declare it as domination? So this can be deleted again. So let me just double check that this is properly set up for domination. I might have missed a step at the beginning. So for the first time when you're saving as, please save it as domination. So okay, so I did make a mistake. So let's just fix that real quick. So going back to Terry, let's open up battles, terrain, tiles, battle, this one, perishable swamp, this one. Okay, file, save as, and in the tile set, we actually want to save this as domination. See if I can spot it. This list is so long. Okay, there it is. Okay, so actually I'm gonna start, I'm just gonna fix that, make sure that I've done this correctly. So file, now, so maybe this is a good refresher on how this is done. Tools, create battle for title, generate. Then we want to basically copy these two, tile map and climate map, battles, terrain, battles. So domination is now the correct one. Paste these two, replace the file and destination. Okay. So I think this should be the same size as before. Now file, actually, and then we need to do that last step, explicit tiles. And so it was 36 by 36. We just can look at that again and GIMP, 36 by 36. Save. Okay. And now file, open, battles, domination, imperishable swamp. Okay. Wait, did I do that right? Yep. Okay, and then file, open, perishable swamp and domination. Okay. Now process with Bob. This last step is by far the trickiest set of steps, working with the mod and generating the outfield. So bound to be a couple little mistakes in it. It's definitely something that's pretty tricky to do. So let's just go to Terry for a second. Okay. So it looks like it's done. Now let's open it again just to see how it looks. So again, we don't have the terrain. Oh, battles, because I'm supposed to be looking at the battles one. This one, just show all. Okay, now we're just gonna process with Bob. File, open it once more. Now it says domination in the name at the top. Okay. And you can see that we have, we're way up here. Okay, and our tile should be right in the middle. We'll just go look at it to double check that everything was generated correctly. Okay. In fact, it looks like now alright, so we're still missing the central tile. So going back to this, 36 by 36. So let's just open this with GIMP real quick. And double check that nothing changed. Nothing changed. So why can I not see the tile? Here, so let's just double check. So going back to terrain, tiles, battle, domination, vegetable swamp. This is here. We created the battle from the tile. Then we went to open the tiles, terrain, battles, domination here. For some reason the tile map is not being placed in the center. So maybe let's just still exit out of these and maybe I'll open the back end and try to save it again. Yeah, like I was saying before, sometimes this program is really finicky. So even when it seems like it should work, sometimes it doesn't anyways. So let's just open this back up again. Not that one. 36 by 36 terrain. Check the guide. It worked one time, so it kind of, you'd think that it would work a second time, but it is not. So scrolling back down. (28 by 28). So let's try to again maybe one thing that's happening is let's just make sure that I did all of the steps a second time for the new file. So going back to terrain, tiles, battle, domination, perishable swamp tier. Let's just process this with Bob one time. Make sure that it exists. Okay, now open domination, tiles, terrain, battles, this one. So it shouldn't work this time, but it might work now if I process with Bob again. So that's my hope, that I missed processing with Bob on the new battle tile. Okay, so file, process with Bob. Let's see if this does anything. If not, I'll probably end the stream there and debug it offline. Okay, file, open, this one again. Okay. Okay, so something is going wrong. I'll have to debug this offline, because it's still not playing nice for some reason, and I'm not 100% sure why. So I'll have to ask the gods that be if they can help me figure out what's going on and solve the issue. It might be that I just made some small error. So yep, I'll end the stream there. End the stream there. Thank you for watching. Well, like pretty much everything now is done. There's only some very minor stuff left. So presuming that there are no technical difficulties, I'll finish this up next time. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Later.